Yes, I know all of you can, but the goal of this video is to see whether I can beat Dark Souls Remastered at level 1. Let's cut to the title music. I booted up Dark Souls Remastered, named myself Trixie because I was feeling quite tricksy, and picked a face I wouldn't mind looking at for the next 20 hours. That is so classic Xena. I picked no starting gift because former gifted kids are my #1 enemies. I didn't realize until just now that the only class that starts at level 1 is Pyromancer, so I guess I'm forced into that. I thought it would be like Dark Souls 2 where they have the Deprived class, but for some reason in this game, Deprived is level 6. The only problem is that pyromancies in this game don't scale with your level, so you'd be doing the same damage with them at level 1 as you would at level 100. This feels obviously against the spirit of this, so I'm banning all pyromancies. I started my quest, slipped into something more comfortable, and headed on to the misunderstood asylum friend. How much damage do you do with the sword hilt? Huh, interesting. I graciously let my buddy live a little longer, immediately unattuned that sacrilegious pyromancy they made me start with, did the lowest damage backstab in recorded history, and picked up the hand axe. That's pretty much it for the weapons for this run, so I hope you guys like lumberjack cosplays. I got shot through the heart and he's to blame, popped over to the bowling alley, listened to the longest family motto in history. Good on you for memorizing all that, I guess. Seems oddly specific. And now it's time for the first real fight. I did the extremely dishonorable thing and jumped down on his head when he wasn't looking. Then, after taunting him for a bit, I let him get a hit in because I'm charitable, then just cut his little booty up like a Brazilian doctor and flew to Lordvessel in the arms of an angel. On my way to Undead Burg, I immediately got cheesed, got my revenge, got a lucky humanity drop from my very first rat, got comboed, and unlocked the first bonfire. While in Pittsburgh, I patronized a local business, bought the residence key, used the residence key, challenged the spear hollow to a battle in the marketplace of ideas, let his friend, the crossbow hollow, also get a taste of my debate skills, and tried my hand at parkour. I went on a wild lizard chase, getting my ankles broken by your average pickup basketball player for 2 large Titanite shards, and headed into Chicago. I took out Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, set my hand axe to stun, and tased Michael Jordan into submission. They're saying I've been nominated for the Oscar for Best Cinematography for this fight. Fun fact, the first time I played this game, I was so scared of the bosses, I leveled my dex up to 40 before I took on the Taurus Demon just by looping through Undead Burg over and over. I took a break to praise the sun, watched as these guys were burned alive and did nothing to stop it, said this is Sparta, and opened up the shortcut just in case. I know I've seen videos where people just run through this bridge to the bonfire, but as far as I'm concerned, those people are all liars and cheaters. This does not seem possible. Also, I swear the poison didn't last this long the first time I played this. It took 4 full Estus sips just to deal with the poison damage. Is this what people mean when they talk about getting hungover in their 30s lasting way longer than I did in their 20s? Sounds horrible. I got scammed out of like 50 backstabs on the boar. How did none of these count? I finally landed a good ol' spank right on his patootie, and immediately got gored for my pig-headedness. I Detroit became human so I could get myself 5 more Estus charges, finally made it through the rats without getting poisoned, successfully baited the boar, then brutally stabbed him in the back, and did it a second time as he was just walking sadly back home. Let my curiosity get the better of me and went out on a limb, got a lucky Titanite shard drop, and ran through the Undead Parish to get to Andre's bonfire. I upgraded my hand axe to +5, played Ring Around the Rosie, got the Firekeeper's Soul to upgrade my Estus, made like my dad when a rom-com comes on and changed the channel, rescued this helpless noble knight. It feels good to help your community. And I was too slow to take out the first gargoyle, so I got owned by the second one's fire. Then got double teamed as I foolishly tried to heal. That's what I deserve for turning my back on my enemy. Then I remembered I had gold pine resin left. Oh yeah. Fried gargoyle is way tastier anyway. I was able to demolish the first one before his backup arrived, and other than getting a light singe to purify my body of any toxins, man, look how good I am at this game. My second gargoyle fight went perfectly as I survived the hellfire, saved the damsel in distress, by which I mean myself, and rang the first bell. On the way out of the bell tower, I bought the poison bite ring just in case, I don't know, there's some sort of poison swamp in my near future, and because what else am I doing with all my souls? Certainly not leveling up like some kind of jabroni. I ran through the undead parish for the basement key, got a light sunburn, and dropped down to the lower burg. I rescued a boy wizard in a frankly insane outfit, got parried like a filthy casual, got a taste of how Julius Caesar felt. You okay there, big guy? Jeez, I was trying to help you get unstuck. And I headed in to greet LeBron. He thought he had me, sicking his 2 attack dogs on me and challenging me where he has home field advantage and I have the worst camera operator since the Blair Witch Project. But entirely out of Estus, I channeled my inner Keanu Reeves and dodged all his attacks and whittled him down. Then, one hit from victory, I employed Madara's Kamui Sharingan to make his last slash phase right through me so I could win. I don't know what happened here, but I'm not questioning it, and frankly, neither should you. A quick jaunt back to Firelink to open the shortcut and heal, and I headed down to the depths. Oh hi, Torch Hollow. Good to meet you too. On my way back, I made friends with this hollow and we ran through the babbling brook together, elbows linked, not a care in the world. Alright, see you later, buddy. I stopped by the chiropractor to get my spine just obliterated with a steamroller, and got a cut of prime rib from the butcher. But this little mutt wanted it so badly he somehow dodged all my attacks and took it from me. Oh well, dogs gotta eat. I taught that old dog a new trick. Hey, play dead. Grabbed the first move every fire type starter learns, and brought it back to Andre to get my axe to +7. I got one more taste of the great outdoors before plunging further into the depths. Has there always been a second butcher, or did she respawn for some reason? Also, this guy can cast fireballs but couldn't break out of a simple barrel? Something's not adding up. I got a lucky large Titanite shard as well as a green shard, fought through Ratatouille's family for the bonfire key, took out the channeler, found another large shard, met the Rat King, then some more of Ratatouille's brothers got revenge on me. Twice. Anything up here? Nope. Gotta go find the way to the Gaping Dragon's Fog Gate. Look how much fun I'm having in these narrow hallways. I ran around forever because I thought the Gaping Dragon's arena was through the Basilisk area. At least I got some new bling. Oh yeah, the big rats got me again. And I got stuck between 2 Basilisk fog spray and got cursed. And all that nonsense was because I was trying to remember where the fog gate was and didn't see this corridor here. I'm the best gamer in existence. Now, were most of my difficulties with the Gaping Dragon objectively self-inflicted because I got cursed and was too stubborn to go get it removed? I mean, sure, but when you think about it, all my struggles here are self-inflicted because I decided to do a Soul Level 1 challenge. I decided to play this game in the first place. I could be out clubbing, but here I am, getting hit by the tail. Also, I kept trying to speed the fight up rather than going for the safe play of just hitting his head and tail back and forth, and then I get stomped on. And I'm still trying to roll like it's Dark Souls 2 when I only have 5 frames of invincibility, but I could be rolling earlier and still be safe. Anyway, I finally just did the boring strat of hitting his head every time he does the chomp attack, then hitting his tail when he runs into the wall, and yeah, it worked, but where's the fun in that? I used my souls to get my axe to +8 and buy the Crest of Artorias from Andre, and well, since I'm already cursed, I might as well do New Londo now so I don't have to worry about using transient curses later, right? Quick trip to Ingward, get the key to the seal, 20 minutes in and out tops. I was practicing my karate when this guy got in the way. Whoops, occupational hazard I guess. I popped down to the ruins, died so the Ring of Favor and Protection would spawn where Lautrec was, grabbed the Firekeeper's soul, and this place is the worst. The ghosts love to use their wall hacks to stay so low my swings go above them, their range is crazy, and there are more narrow hallways for me to bang my axe into the walls in. I was trying to get up to Ingward to buy the key from him, the honest way, but getting through this last building was looking next to impossible. And then I remembered that you don't buy it from him, he gives it to you after you have the lordvessel. So this was all in vain, unless... Did you know you can't look down crossbow sights in the first game? One mad dash to the graveyard later, collecting all these things I don't need until... Aha! There you are. And now we peep on this guy from behind. Okay, I have to stand on the stairs. One trip back to the undead merchant later, and... is he gonna get pushed too far away? Oh, there we go. This is gameplay. This is cinema. This is James Joyce. I got the key just like I planned, and this whole cursed excursion only took 2 hours. But at least I had enough souls to remove this curse. I am not dealing with half HP ever again. Now to use that Blighttown key. I know a lot of you probably hate this place, but I'm built different. I'm actually the backstab bandit. Oh yeah, I should put the poison bite ring back on. This was kind of the whole reason I bought it. This is my first time entering Blighttown through the depths rather than using the master key to come in from the back, and it's kinda nice. I like what they've done with the place. Other than these dogs. These dogs that you can never seem to hit with horizontal attacks, I couldn't do without. I slowly make my way down, style on Maneater Mildred, and head to Quelaag. I only take a couple tries to learn the difference between her animation before she spits out goo and when she explodes. The goo spitting out, she has her spider rear back, while the explosion is more of a downward dog yoga pose situation. The more you know. And then, even with my pitiful damage, I'm still able to slowly whittle her down and ring the second bell. Sen's Fortress, more like Perry Paradise. I know most professional gamers just sprint through here like scared cats running from a fight with 100 giant sword-wielding lizards, but I want to take my sweet time. That's right, I chose to take out every soldier blocking my path because the challenge is half the fun. Oh, and by the way, I'm really good at parrying. I almost never miss. I fell down here completely on purpose so I could assassinate this poor imprisoned giant for his chunk. Took out this guy. This feels mean-spirited. But hey, a chunk's a chunk. I brought my weapon up to +10, and like a pack of chihuahuas nipping impotently at the Iron Golem's ankles, I just kept at it, yipping and yapping and being generally untrainable, until finally I broke his stance, and in what direction did I send him? That's right, down. Should I kill this gargoyle for style points? Nah, he has so much left to live for. He has a family, you know? I made this jump for the first time in my life, just booked it past the second gargoyle and... Okay, fine. But I'm taking this guy's tail as a prize. This will look great on the wall of my hunting cottage. And you know what? Your brother has to die too now. Now, what to do with this guy? I could go for a parry, or... let me just squeeze past you there. Sorry for bothering you. At ease, soldier. So how does this jump work? Close. There we go. I did what I do in every cathedral, just ran around the back and didn't listen to a word the preacher said. I found the giant blacksmith who ascended my axe to lightning and upgraded it to +1, and now it's time for the real challenge. I watched as Smo ran into the pillars over and over like a blind pit bull, and took Ornstein out on my very first try. Now I only have to dodge one guy's attacks. Well, that was quick. Now look, Dumb and Dumber can pull out just about every cheap trick in the book. They can stagger their attacks so the second one hits you just as your roll to dodge the first one ends. They can corner you so you can't see what's going on thanks to the incredible camera work in this game. And my personal favorite, Pinky can stand right in front of the brain so you can't see what he's doing. Then surprise, he's charging up a dash to make you wish you were never born. The good news is it only took 15 more tries and I finally got a good run. I just kept ran on the other side of a pillar as much as possible so I could dodge Stimpy's attacks and whittle him down. Going into Super Tweedledum, I had no Estus, and I didn't need any. A long, laborious process of dodging and chipping him down later, and I just talked to Guinevere. Have any of you ever tried that? Just talking normally to a woman? I think that might help some of you. I ducked back through Blighttown and made my way to the Daughter of Chaos. Luckily, I had exactly 30 humanity items, just what I needed to open up the shortcut straight to the bed of chaos and skip all the demon ruins. Unluckily, I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, not that much of a glutton. I still want my sanity. I made my way through a horde of Lebrons before realizing that the gate doesn't open when you get the lordvessel. You have to actually place it. Whoops. Well, I might as well fully upgrade my weapon first. Worth it. How sweet, he came with me. And with enough chunks to bring my axe to +4, I just needed a slab. I reverted to my fetal form, imagined I was back in the womb, the last time I can remember not having to deal with all this crap being alive entails. Oh, hi, Torch Hollow! Which side does the boss start on again? Oh, okay. One stray demon effortlessly dispatched as I whirled and twirled around his attacks like the teacup rat at Disney World, invoking both his and my vomiting, and I had secured my bounty. Finally, max damage. One thing about me, I will pretend to be on literally anyone's side if it makes fewer people attack me on sight. Now to test out my axe against a poor grieving dog. Wow, I kinda didn't think my damage could be this good at level 1. Well, this doesn't feel right. I'm sorry, boy. I hope you'll have plentiful meat treats and giant bones with Artorias and that great farm in the sky. But how good is my DPS really? Only one way to find out. Well, it's actually not terrible. It takes 13 hits to commit one regicide. I just need the kings to do as few of the grab attacks, projectiles, and explosions as possible. Those are just like that kid who always said, "I don't have a question, but I have a comment" in 4th grade. All they do is waste time. I also need to dodge into the swipes so I can clear their hitboxes faster rather than dodging along their line and still getting hit after. The projectile in particular is annoying because it's really hard to get a frame of reference for how far it is when the background is just void, and having to dodge it every time it loops around makes the king's relatively slow attacks actually scary sometimes. I finally got through the first 3 even with all of them exploding once, only to have the 4th one start with a projectile. But when push came to shove, I clutched it out. This guy's making some good points. I do hate those who resist nature. Have I just had that giant bowl tucked into my underwear this whole time? I dropped down into Blighttown for another Firekeeper's soul, multiple puns not intended, and finally headed back to the Demon Ruins. The fiery explosions the Demon Fire Sage summons have always baffled me. Sometimes they appear at his staff, and sometimes they're right on top of you. But I just double rolled every time to be safe and chopped them to bits. I sent a small expeditionary force on a one-way trip to get the orange charred ring. We thank them for their service. May their sacrifices not be in vain. Now that I was lava-proof, I just stood under this horrifying 502-legged monster and swung away. I sprinted through the burning land before time as it used Necrozma's Z move, Light That Burns My Eyes, put Ceaseless Discharge's final sister out of her misery, and let's not talk about Warrior Kirk. I looped around to the end of Lost Izalith to finally put an end to this Sun Worshipper's heresy, Moonhead stay winning, and picked up a little Firefly that will help us in a bit. I wanted to try at least once to see if I could beat Bed of Chaos in one go without quitting out to reset the arena. Now I'm actually good on that. Look, this boss is so unfinished they didn't even bother to put in a unique animation for when you're sliding down. You just stand there menacingly as the soles of your feet get torn to shreds. One poorly timed dodge roll later, and I rolled straight into the Bed of Chaos, hit the walls a few times just to test how sturdy they are, and acquired the second Lord Soul. I frolicked through the fields of skeletons and necromancers without a care in the world, dropped in on my close personal friend Ramos, who's always happy to see me, and thought I had outmaneuvered the bone wheels, but they got the last laugh. Twice. Okay, fine, 3 times. I slowly and methodically targeted them one by one like John Wick, took out this clown in 4 hits, and ripped the face off the daddy, and immediately fell to my death. Oh, how I love Tomb of the Giants. I literally slid into this Joker, so I knocked him down to a certain death, and jumped down after him because I decided I'd rather finish him myself, which turned out to be a poor decision. I really hate these skeletal dogs. They're the exact opposite of real dogs. After a tremendous amount of pain, I finally took them out and reached the bonfire. I challenged Paladin Leroy because why not? Oh, that's why not. Do these skeletal pillar guys remind anyone else of the spiny enemies from Shifting Sandland? Anyway, I wonder how Nito will beat without a divine weapon to take out the skeletons. Couple more tries. Yeah, no, let's try something else. Be wary of poison. What poison? Oh, that poison. I fought the Moonlight Butterfly while draining HP, didn't dodge like any of its attacks, somehow broke my axe so I couldn't finish it in one cycle, and still grabbed the Divine Ember on my first attempt. I handed my embers over to Andre, and a Divine Morning Star just feels right, doesn't it? That just seems like a holy weapon, and enough green shards to get to +3. Well, that's a lot easier. Even with Nino toxicking me instantly, me being just not far enough away to dodge one of his explosions, and forgetting to press L2 to dodge the Gravelord's sword dance, I easily sent the Gravelord to his, well, grave. I spanked these two boars on the rump a bunch of times, had a grudge match with this channeler, and I don't care about souls, but if I have this ring, I might as well use it. Do your worst, Seath. Oh god, wait, I forgot he can curse you. Don't do your worst! Dang it. Oh man, the ring didn't even work. Doing the prison while cursed is irritating. Why didn't I buy an extra purging stone? But eventually, I took out the lizards using backstabs and rolls for invincibility, and grabbed the key. Doing this area while cursed is also irritating. FromSoft knew exactly what they were doing when they put in all these channelers and archers in these narrow aisles where you have no room to dodge side to side. It also doesn't help when I don't remember where to go. Oh yeah, here's the exit. This guy. After getting my revenge, I finally reached a bonfire that would let me warp out. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. You know what, let me just buy out your entire stock, who knows? How do you get to Seath again? Well, definitely not this way. Ah yeah, here we are. As for the Seath fight, just ignore all those petrified statues that look suspiciously like me. You don't know where they came from and you can't prove anything. And you also don't know how many purging stones I had to use. I kept trying to get fancy, dodging in and out as he would do his crystal spray close to and then far away from himself, but if I just hide in his little loin here, I'm free from all the crystals. He can only hit me with tail swipes, but he doesn't do those very often. As long as I don't get hit by his big explosion and the subsequent crystal minefield, it's smooth sailing to the final Lord Soul. How do you get down to the kiln of the first flame if Frampt isn't on your side? Oh. Wait, that's sick as hell. All I need are 13 parries. Just 13 simple parries. If I get caught by the grab attack, I'm toast. The fast slashes are very hard to dodge and very easy to get comboed down in 2 hits. I need him to not do the fast attacks, I need to avoid the grabs, and I need to punish the slow attacks. Just 13 parries. I can do that, right? Yes, I can beat Dark Souls at level 1. Should I continue the cycle of violence? Never-ending flame? Nah. I think it's time for a new Dark Lord, a new age. This was actually quite a bit easier than Dark Souls 2, but maybe that's just because now I have more practice. The fact that almost all the areas are much easier to run through in this game and there's nothing like the Shrine of Amara makes it a much more enjoyable experience, just practicing each boss until you get good. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and remember, it's dangerous out there. Let's stick together.